Audio. Synchronize the audio. We're starting to clean up this berm over here. So this berm should not be here. This was created when the driveway was cut in. So when the excavator was just picking up these trees, these small ones anyway, and just setting them off to the side, grabbing dirt and setting them off to the side, grabbing dirt, setting them off, piling them up, what we're left with is a berm that has a bunch of these bigger trees and logs and such stuck inside of them. And that's a huge pain in the butt. Obviously they're covered in mud, so you can't really burn them. So you gotta pick them up and knock them off and create smaller piles, and we can burn them that way, and then starting to flatten out and get back inside there. So this is a long-term project that we're working on. It's not fun by any means. It's the wet season, so I'm running into situations where I can't continue right here because it's so wet. But up here at the other side, where the driveway kind of sort of starts, where all this stuff starts, we can start cleaning up and burning there. But we also want to get rid of a bunch of pines, a bunch of Chinese privets, a bunch of stuff that really doesn't make any sense, really doesn't add any value to the ecosystem here. So we're going to be pulling this stuff out, cleaning it up, and hopefully making this side of the driveway look a lot like this stretch right here. We cleared this out a little bit late summer and started cleaning this up and adding compostable material to build up some soil a little bit. This had wildflowers in it naturally last year, so we're hoping a bunch of wildflowers will come back. But we did plant a bunch of clover and some other stuff accidentally, like pumpkins. This section is going to be just for wildlife, so I don't care what grows there so long as it's valuable to the ecosystem. This stuff up here is covering a row of some beautiful walnut trees. If I'm not mistaken, there's like 5 really large walnut trees right here. And I'd like to clean out all of this stuff underneath the walnut trees and really save them. I've already taken the vines out, or at least stopped the vines. Now we need to make the ground around it really nice. Ah, more vines I didn't see. Alright, as far as cutting around the base of the trees, I got rid of most of the vines. You know, it's interesting how much more you can see during fall and winter when the majority of the vegetation is already knocked down. You see all that green stuff right there? The majority of that is Chinese privet. It's an invasive species that just takes over, and I don't know if you can see how much it's already taken over. We want to get rid of those. Also, these smaller pines are competing for canopy space with these walnut trees, and I want the walnut trees to stay. So the pines got to go, the Chinese privets got to go, and all this brush here at the bottom, it's got to be cleaned up as well. You can kind of get a better idea of how much I've cleaned up right here already. Inside there, I kind of bulldozed my way in and cleaned up a little bit, so I've got enough room for the tractor to do a whole 360 and keep moving stuff around. All of this, like I said, is pines and Chinese privet. It provides no value to the ecosystem here. So I want to clear all this out and at the very least get wildflowers going, get some taller grasses going, some protection for bunnies and birds and whatnot, and really try and bring back a lot of wildlife. I'm primarily going to be working over here on this side, and I'll be pulling the stuff over to Jamie's burn pile. Jamie's got a pile going over here, and she's been working at that for a little while. Gas can is not for the fire. Gas can is for that. Just want to throw that out there. And the kids and dogs are doing what kids and dogs do best. Oh, that was perfect timing. Perfect timing. All right, let's get to work. The ground is soft enough that pulling them out's pretty easy. Just just got to keep them stacked in an organized fashion to where I could take many of them over there at one time. Because that's the slowest part. The slowest part is taking them over to the burn pile. I'm going to pull backwards, bend the tree in one direction, and then I can get on the other side of it and bend the tree in the other direction. By then, the root system should be exposed and really easy to lift out of the ground. The ground is so soft right now because it's the later part of our wet season, so it's like cheating pulling these trees out. It doesn't take much at all. It makes this tractor feel much more powerful than what it really is. I tried to pull these trees out in the summertime when the ground was like, you know, hard as a rock. That's not an efficient use of energy, we'll say. Holy smokes, it's a night and day difference doing this right now versus the summertime. And all of these vines are just taking over anyway, so clearing this out is going to solve so many problems. With all this smaller stuff, it's just a lot easier to put the rake down and just push through the top layer of the dirt. Just push it off to the side, then I can pick it all up, knock as much dirt off as I can, and then stack it. what a difference. What a difference this makes. This is exciting. These bigger trees were just hidden. This is a huge walnut tree. And it was almost completely covered up by junk, really. And the vines, that's another benefit of doing this, is we're getting the vines out of these trees. Look how big these vines were. Now I already came through and cut them a little bit, but the fuzzy vines, that's all poison ivy. And man, I wonder how long this tree would have lived without any intervention and just let the vines go as they wish. They're eventually going to pull the tree down completely. So I got this one cleaned up all the way around the base. Well, rough work anyway. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one. We're going to have to figure out how it's competing with the canopy once the leaves are on. Not too sure about this. This other walnut right here, massive walnut. I just keep dropping my gloves. Massive walnut tree, getting the vines out of it, and it's nice to keep them alive. Getting close. I still got to pull all this other stuff out. This is the perfect time of the year to do this right here. The ground is so soft and squishy that we just, I mean, that tree right there, that big pine, it's probably a 6-inch diameter pine, and you just push it over and the roots are exposed and you pick it up. Couldn't quite get to it because there's this pile of trash right here, a bunch of glass. Didn't really want to break the glass any, and rocking and rolling on the tractor, so I don't want to get off and pick it up just yet. But we find piles of this all over the property. I mean, eventually it's going to be gone, but come on, man. If you're going to go play out in the woods, enjoy it. Don't destroy it. All right, speaking of destruction, I'm starting to get back into the original berm that was created from the driveway. Got to get that out. I don't know how many of these pines we're going to keep, but I do want to keep a wall on this side because this entire side of our property is joined by one neighbor, so that's good. And the majority of that is horse pasture, so I'm not too concerned. But I do want a wall of vegetation. And I don't know how far we'll take this off the driveway, but all of this back here is just Chinese privets. The majority of it's Chinese privets and pines that are not thinned. There's too much competition. We're going to pull this stuff out, pull out the privets as much as possible, and hopefully get this to like an oak savanna. So we have some taller grasses, big trees, tall grasses, some medium-sized trees, and use the canopy once the leaves start coming back. Use the canopy as a guide to what we can keep and what we can get rid of, as far as not overcrowding and stunting growth and all that stuff. But I want a lot of high grasses and wildflowers through here. That'll really help bring some small animal life back to the property. We do have a lot of rabbits around here, possum and raccoon that we've caught on camera, but I want to get more birds in here, a lot more birds in here. And we do have some quail on the other side of the property, which is pretty cool, over by the creek. I want to expand some of that wildlife this way. Cool thing about this is, as the driveway comes in, the road's over there, so we have this hill at the road. You have to come up a hill when you come in the property, so that hill gives us natural privacy this way. That's one of the reasons why I justified opening this up, is because nobody can see it from the road anyway. But as you come in, we now have, as you make this turn, 1, 2, 3 monster walnut trees in a row, and this should be a beautiful kind of a signature area on the driveway. Now, the driveway comes in through this curve, and as you come through the curve, you'll see this. But as soon as you straighten out, once again, I haven't gotten around to putting a lot of work into it just yet, but once we straighten out this way, we see what will be the orchard in the future. I've got to get these pines down. Beetles are just going crazy with them. But that is an ongoing process as well. This is what I'm really excited about getting rid of, right? So this is what it all looks like. Now over here, big difference, huh? Big difference. I want to keep continuing this open area all the way up to this walnut tree, that other walnut tree, and I'm not too sure if that one is walnut or not, but I think there's many in a row. It looks like this was planted. It looks like this is on purpose. Walnut, 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 walnut. Burn. Oh, this is looking good. Looking good. I'm excited. I don't want to quit, but I gotta go cook lunch for the family. I'm excited. Progress. This is great. This is gonna look so much better when it's done. This is gonna be such a better habitat when it's done. Okay, food.